Although the ninth inning, I stopped breathing. Stopped completely.
Yeah.
Hit 2 batters, people on base, home run to start the inning. I had stopped breathing, period, in the ninth.
I think we're going to get to that later in the show. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Cubs advance, the Niners somehow beat the Rams, and Alabama and Miami face potentially tough matchups. But we begin today with baseball and the 2 wild card winners in the American League, Detroit and the Yankees. Both won against familiar divisional foes. The Tigers beat Cleveland, and the Yankees rode rookie Cam Schlittler's, got to be careful with that name, right on in a 12 strikeout performance over 8 scoreless innings. Wilbon, which team impressed you more?
Well, if it's team, Tony, it's Detroit. You know, winning 2 out of 3 after they had hit the skids. They had hit the skids 2 out of 3 in Cleveland against their primary rival. If you ask me which team, Detroit pulled it together when it looked like they had just lost so much in August and September, blowing a 15.5 game lead, going even further back in the season than that. So if you ask me team to pull yourself together and win 2 on the road there, I'm going to say that. But, Tone, this rookie pitcher goes out there last night, strikes out 12, walks nobody, has the calm and just the nerve to go out and deal what he did against the team of his youth. Not his youth, he's still young.
That's right.
His team.
That's
he's
right.
a New England
That's
kid.
right.
He's a son of New England, and he goes out there and shuts down the Sox. I mean, he didn't dream of that. That would have been sort of a nightmare for him as a kid to do that as a Yankee against the Sox. It's a hell of a story. I'll take that as the better story of the 2.
Yeah. I'm just going to repeat everything that you've said because I agree with it, right down the line. My first impression is to say that what the Tigers did is more impressive because they were in free fall. They were 7-17 in September. At the end of the season, they had lost 5 out of 6 to Cleveland, who had made up 14.5, 15.5, whatever it was. And it looked like the Tigers, that they had run out of breath, that they couldn't possibly win. Plus, as you say, they're on the road. So for them to win is extraordinarily impressive. And the statement made in Game 1 by Tarek Skubal, when he struck out 14 in hindsight, looks like the game changer. But you'll appreciate this. Although I was never a Yankee fan, I grew up in New York, and I know what the Yankees and the Red Sox are. I understand that it is an acute and intense rivalry. So for the Yankees to win that, and the same if Boston had won it. I mean, it's a tremendous thing to beat a rival like that. And I will say the same about Cam Schlittler that you're saying. This is a kid who in his professional career had never struck out more than 10 players at any stop along the way in one game. He strikes out 12 Red Sox. He walks none of them. He goes 8 scoreless. And as you say, born and raised in Boston. He doesn't even want to be on the Yankees. He wants to be on Boston.
Never dreamed of that.
So was
It'd be like me dreaming of being on the Cardinals or the Packers. My God.
Sure. Yeah. So it's, it is indeed a great story. Let's move to the National League's only series yesterday. Your Chicago Cubs beat your San Diego Padres. You like them so much. The score was 3-1. The Cubs scored a couple of runs early to take command and seemed to get some help from the umpires late when it mattered. Wilbon, what does this result say to you about each team?
Well, Tony, you can go through the details, and that was not a strike on any level at any time. It wasn't even close. So San Diego got hosed in that way, and I was just saying, okay, I'll take it. But, Tony, to me, coming into this series, and you and I didn't really differ on this. I think the Padres are a better team in the lineup than you do, but the Padres underperformed just a tick, and the Cubs have been overperforming to me all season. Milwaukee should have won that division and did by 5 games. It could have been more. But the Cubs, Tone, to me, one thing I love about this team, watching them every day since they opened the season in Japan against the Dodgers, is that they give you everything they've got. And there are people in Chicago who are critical of Craig Counsell. I don't get it. He gets, to me, closer to the maximum effort and result from his team than anybody in baseball. Yes, the Cubs do. And they did it again in this series. And I don't know what it's going to mean against the Brewers. I actually feel good about playing the Brewers. I sort of want the Brewers, bring on the cheeseheads. And I thought San Diego just a little bit underperformed enough that the Cubs advance in this series.
So the first takeaway I have from this series is that the San Diego Padres lineup, which you think is so great, ain't that great, okay? They scored 5 runs in 3 games, which is nothing. And the top of the order with Tatis and Arise and Machado, who you love, they went, let me get this number, 4 for 33. And Mike, in games 1 and 3, which they lost, those 3 went 0 for 22. So I don't want to hear about them anymore. I mean, I just don't. But let's go from the macro to the micro. If people are not exactly familiar with what we're talking about, the strikeout call in the 9th inning on Xander Bogaerts is a terrible call. It's low. It's not in the zone. Now the Padres have just hit a home run to make it 3-1. If Bogaerts is on first and then Keller hits the next 2 guys, which he does, you have a bases-loaded situation. You have a bases-loaded situation. Well, he was taken out later, and Kittredge came in, boom, boom, end of series. But I'm saying, if that happens then, that game could go another way. Now, that will never happen again to the San Diego Padres, because their season is done. And next year, you're going to have the ball strike box, and you're going to have a challenge, so that will never happen again. I mean, I thought the Cubs were good, and I agree with you. I agree with you that playing Milwaukee is good, but I think the drama is about the manager you said. Counsell left the Brewers to manage the Cubs.
Yes.
Now you will see if that was the right decision. Now
it was the right decision already. But Tony, real quickly, let's give the Cubs starting pitching some credit with San Diego shutting those bats down the top of the order. The Cubs had either the first or second best ERA for starters in the National League going into the postseason, I'm pretty sure, or certainly late into the regular season. So our starting pitching,
I just don't think,
give them some credit.
Right, that's fine. I just don't think that lineup is as good as the Dodgers lineup or the Phillies lineup.
Well,
I just don't.
No, those might be the best 2. We're going to find out about that too, won't we? Let's move to football. The Thursday night game had all kinds of drama. The San Francisco 49ers, vastly injured, beat the Rams in overtime when the Rams went on 4th and 1 rather than kick a tying field goal. Rams coach Sean McVay took full responsibility for the bad play call that got stuffed for no gain. Tone, did the Niners win this thing or did the Rams lose it?
So I'm going to be honest here. I was watching the baseball. I did not go over and watch the football. I didn't see any plays at all. So this morning I saw the highlights and I was stunned at the result. I didn't think San Francisco had any chance in this game. They don't have their quarterback. They don't have any of their top receivers, and they're on the road. I mean, I have the Rams winning comfortably, and as it turns out, San Francisco is the longest underdog of the year so far to win 8.5 points. You know, but what is also true is you cannot fumble on the 1-yard line with a minute to go when you're about to go in for the winning score. You simply can't do that. From everything I've seen, everything I've read, everything I've heard, the Rams had multiple opportunities to win that game and did not.